Man, she's been cleaning that floor a long time, huh? Every night this poor woman vacuums the rug down. Jeez. Good evening, folks, and welcome back, everybody. This is the simulcast for Friday night. It's February the 3rd, 1995. I'm your host, Tom. Joining us tonight here is Larry King, the star of Larry King As It Happens on CNN. See, we can't say live here or Black Rock, that'd be the CBS building in New York, implodes and falls down. Larry King As It Happens, and Jane Seymour, the star of Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, right here on, that'd be on CBS. A week ago today, all of us out here were complaining about cold and rain in Southern California, and today we are all complaining about the dreadful heat. It was 94 degrees in Los Angeles this afternoon. It was very, very hot in this room earlier, and it is still very, very hot in this room. But my day was made when I found out via mail today that I qualify for a 9.6 Visa card. Huh? Lucky or what? And finally, thanks to all of you who called in here last night. I mentioned if anybody knew how to get gum out of pants, it would be extremely helpful. And some people called in. They said, put your pants in the freezer and wait till it gets hard and scrape it off. I hope they meant the gum. And I'm sorry, it just slipped out. It's dumb and stupid. Somebody else said put peanut butter on it and scrape it off, and somebody else said put butter on it or put nail polish remover, and that'll take the gum off your pants. I found the best way of all. I said to Carrie Fettman, who's my wardrobe director, I said, Carrie, get the damn gum out of there. It was all gone. Let me tell you just a fast story about Larry King, who I've known for a long, long time. Larry started Mutual Radio back in the 1970s, and we were up and running over at NBC. And he came on, and I believe it was his first coast-to-coast television appearance. And he told a wonderful story about working early on in Miami radio as a disc jockey all night from midnight till 6 o'clock in the morning. And as happens with all-night disc jockeys, geez, my hair looks good tonight, doesn't it? Huh? Yeah, it's great. As happens with all late-night disc jockeys, there are certain female members of the audience who, for whatever the reason, fall desperately in love with them. And so Larry was called night after night by a woman who lived near the radio studio. Could he please come over? She wanted to meet him in the worst way and have a drink with him and get to know him, if you catch my drift. And Larry couldn't get out because he had to play the records and do the commercials, but she was very persistent. And one night he said, look, I've got a big LP. Back in those days, you could put on as much as 45 minutes or an hour of recorded music on one electrical transcription. And he put that on the turntable, and he went over to the lady's house. And he knew he had about 45 minutes to 1 hour to have a drink and get to know the person. And as he was getting to know the person, he had the radio on in the background, and a Frank Sinatra record came up. And he listened in horror as Frank sang, in the still, in the still, in the still. Larry never got to know her. By the way, Larry used to play a game on radio called Why Are You Up? And we're going to try that again with all of you tonight. You know, it may go in the dumper, it may work fine, but we'll find out. Not only on the toll-free exchange, which you know by heart, but tonight and tonight only, you can join us by fax, telling us why you are up at the fax number here at the Late Late Show. That'll be 213-852-7969. And if you can't get us on the phone or you can't get us on fax, we're also on Prodigy tonight. We're going to get you one way or another. You can join us on Prodigy. Dial up the chat room there. What's it called? Chat Live? Chat Live. Chat Live. Excuse me. Chat As It Happens. And there's an area you'll find just for us called Why Are You Up and What Are You Wearing? And we'll use your comments on the air. I have to go now, but Larry King will be right back with us and you on Prodigy, the phones, the fax, and the radio right after these messages. Do get off of me. Incidentally, if radio, phones, Prodigy, and fax is not enough, we are also at the 11th Street Diner in Miami Beach with a live camera. Here they got the two greatest talkers in the history of the medium.
The history.
Okay, King and Snyder, and they say, we got to help these guys. They can't care.
It's over worry.
Right. Larry,
we got Prodigy, we got phones, we got the live remote. What else? Where did we miss?
Yeah, right. Just to keep
Morse code.
Yeah, just to keep Snyder and Larry off the air. Anyway, veteran broadcaster, the Iron Horse of broadcasting.
David Letterman always calls me this because I used to do radio, television. I don't do the radio show anymore. I just do the TV, and I'm still the Iron Horse. As I was saying, I could be retired in Phoenix, age 96.
The Iron
I
Horse.
appear on Letterman. Here he is, the Iron Horse of the retirement village.
Let me ask you here about the announcement made tonight on the David Letterman show. You know, Letterman made news tonight. Bob Dole made news tonight by announcing informally, but still on live broadcast, that he will run for the presidency in 1996. Before your comment, in case you missed Dave tonight, here is what Bob Dole had to say.
Now, all day today, I was under the impression that you, in fact, had committed to running for election in '96. Now, you have or have not?
I have not.
You have not?
But I will. Well, I'm going to run.
You're going to run
yes,
for?
President.
You are going to run for president in '96?
Yeah. 96.
What are they saying at Newt Gingrich's house tonight?
They don't know. Should he win? Should he lose? You know, Dole almost announced on our show last week, where the place you're supposed to announce.
Almost doesn't count, Larry.
Well, Perot was the host. He didn't know how to take it one step further. He had him this close. But Dole has the record for the most appearances on Larry King, as it happens. And won't get you in trouble.
Keep this up, will you? Because if I lose this, pal, the Iron Horse will die.
And I think Dole's going to be a formidable candidate.
Really?
He's a very young 71. He doesn't look 71.
No, he doesn't. In fact, I thought he was older. I thought he was like 75 or 76.
I think he'll be 72 if elected. I think he'd be the oldest person ever inaugurated as president. I think he would be if elected. I've gotten to like him very much. He's that veneer that he had when he ran with Ford.
He was mean then, Larry.
76, he was mean spirit. He hurt them in that election because Mondale handled him very well in the debate.
That's right.
But I like Bob, and he will be formidable, I think. But he's also, there's two sides to him. There's still a little mean crustiness, but on the other hand, he really cares about his country.
But if, in fact, there were to be a series of primaries involving he, and this is really speculative, Newt Gingrich, wouldn't Gingrich win it going away?
No, you know, Gingrich is very interesting, but there's no midway. You know, with Dole, you say, I like him, I don't like him. With Gingrich, I think his popularity rating is around 28%.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he's, you know, Newt says weird things, you know. I mean,
well, the night we had him on here on tape from the CBS Evening News where he said men go out and hunt giraffes, you know.
Who knows? You know, what you love about Newt is CNN carries his press conference every day. Now, the other prior speakers of the House, they had press conference every day. They never carried it live. But Newt you carry because Newt's
Just
one of those
in case.
guys, what you love as a guest. You know this.
Sure.
We love this.
Yeah.
The edge. They're right on the edge.
Yeah.
What could he possibly say? You're that kind of guest.
Yeah.
I'm that kind of guest. We know we're sitting here right this minute thinking each of us could blow the career.
Let's blow the career right now.
In the next 2 seconds. But you're the kind of guy who would like it. So your problem, Snyder, is I would be a little concerned. You would enjoy it.
Oh, I'd love every
Another
second of it.
blown career. I can go home.
Absolutely. I mean, I hope this ends in flames, you know, with the bombs bursting.
And the whole staff.
Yeah, exactly.
Really
you know, out the
appreciate it.
window on unemployment for the first time in their lives. I think it'd be great. Good night, everybody.
we have a great connection, though. You know, I mean, when you think about it, because I don't know if it's generally well known that when I had my heart attack, which is, do you know that next month, it's this month, February 24th, is 8 years. 8 years ago, Tom Snyder sat in.
A lot
on
of
the
people
radio
sat
show.
in for you on radio.
Yeah, but you were there.
Oh, listen, you know how much I love that.
And all those calls, where you been, Tom?
Yeah, where you been? And by the way, Tom, you did good, Tom.
Yeah,
you know
you
what's
did.
funny about doing TV is you never know if you're any good or not. You know, you read all the stuff in the press, they say he stinks, he's lousy, he's okay. But on the radio with the phones, you know immediately if you're any good or not.
You know right away.
Yeah.
Those people are right jamming on top. That's why you up that we're doing tonight?
Yeah.
Tammy Haddad, who's your producer, we know. I spoke to Tammy through her.
I know you did, I know.
Through her interpreter. It was very nice. and Tammy Haddad had this idea years ago. Why don't we find out who's out there? So we'll do surveys. And we had all these people.
Sure hope she gets some ideas like that around here. No. It's a
that
joke, Tammy. Don't come in here.
It's been that bad, huh?
No, it's been that
No.
good. You've seen, we're doing fine here.
Tammy is a perpetual motion.
Yes, she is.
You know, the only thing I was concerned when I heard that she has come to work for you
What was
is
that concern, Larry?
the balance of personalities. Because I'm fairly hyper, and you have no hyper at all.
None.
None. So trying to picture Tammy with someone who actually doesn't care. You know what I mean?
But by the way, you're
this
right.
woman is worried all day. You don't care.
I don't worry about this.
You could come in here tonight and they could say, listen, we're bringing Sajak back. Fine, I'll see you.
That's fine. That's just fine. As a matter of fact, by the way, if we blow the career tonight, you better call Pat and get him in here. You know, get the billboard back up on Fairfax. You know, and I like Pat Sajak. Don't get me wrong, but when he was here, they put a big billboard up right across the street, you know, so that when he went home at night, he would see this and know that everything was okay.
And then one day, the billboard.
Yeah.
They have a way of telling you in this business.
Yeah, and then, yeah, right. And then Frank Sinatra saying there used to be a billboard here.
I don't know if they're liking this, but we're having a great time.
It doesn't make any difference. Now, I understand that you and your entourage went into Judge Ito's courtroom to say hello to O.J. Simpson.
Let me tell you about this. This was really great. Judge Ito had requested that we not use Faye Resnick on the air when she was coming on.
That's correct.
Connie Chung used her, and Maury used her, and we didn't use her.
Right.
So he sent me a very nice thank you letter, and then he called and said, "You're going to be out in Los Angeles. Come by. We'll meet, and I'd like to thank you, say hello." So I went. I took my daughter Kaya, my producer Wendy. That's the girl who Wendy Walker Whitworth. She replaced Tammy.
Tammy is just praying to God we don't mention her name anymore.
I just said it once.
I know.
No, Tammy's not worried. They're very similar. Anyway, so Wendy says you're going, and I'm going. Okay. Yeah. So I went, and my daughter went, and another producer, Alan, we go, and we're sitting in Judge Ito's office, went up through the back way with security. Very nice guys coming in. We had a wonderful, it's off the record, beautiful half-hour conversation. Yep. Mm-hmm. And I said, by the way, you took a 15-minute recess. We've been going 40 minutes. He says, I'm the judge. You know, I'll decide what. Anyway, we get up to leave. Yeah. All this is like Fellini. So I'm the first one walking. Wendy's behind me. There's Ellen and my daughter and Judge Ito. And Judge Ito is talking to my daughter about her classes. She's graduating. Okay. And he's starting to put on his robe. The bailiff sees him put on his robe and immediately opens the door to the courtroom where the judge comes in. O.J. sees me and goes, you know, I know O.J. a long time. Mm-hmm. How are you, Larry? Now I'm in the middle of the courtroom. Kaya's in the middle of the courtroom. Everybody's in the middle of the courtroom. We're standing around there. Marsha's yelling. I'm walking over to her, and it was like in the middle of a dream, standing in the middle of all these people that we've been watching for days, and they're all around. Then I go downstairs after. You can't shake hands with O.J. You know, only his lawyers can shake hands with him. I try to shake hands, like an innocent shake hands. You can't do that. We go downstairs, 500 reporters. First, what do you want? What were you talking about? What was the secret? What was Judge Ito wanted to talk to you about? It was crazy. It was the whole thing was an insane...
And you loved every second of it.
I loved it, yeah. It was nice. Okay. It was nice seeing Joe McGinnis sitting there wondering, why him?
No, and to see Dominic Dunn wanting to rip your heart out.
Dominic Dunn. Yeah. The Dominic Dunn who wants to throw the switch. You know, Dominic Dunn, he won't be happy till everybody dies. I love Dominic Dunn.
We can tell.
I love Dominic Dunn will not be happy until every criminal dies. Yeah. And Jerry Spence believes no one has ever committed a crime.
See, I could no more walk into that courtroom than I could jump off the top of this.
Well, but no, I wouldn't walk in. I would never go into courtroom as a visitor. All of this was just one of those little
things,
accidents of fate. And you know O.J., don't you? You worked at NBC. You had to know O.J.
I knew him very, very.
Yeah, but I mean, you passed him in the hall.
Of course, yeah.
He was always a pleasant kind of guy.
Couldn't have been more pleasant.
Great smile. He's nice guy. So what do you do? Not say hello? You know, I mean, you got to say.
Of course.
You know, I like him. I don't know who did this crime. It's an amazing story. It's the greatest story. This is the greatest story of all time that has no effect on your life.
Absolutely.
In other words,
like a war does, a famine,
new president. But other than that, there's no. How could you? If you wrote this, we had 4 mystery writers on one night, right? And we said, if you submitted this as a script, picture this. You're pitching this to a network.
They throw it out.
Fox maybe, but you pitch this. No, you picture. What are we going to do today? Well, today a prosecutor will give him chest pains. What do we do tomorrow? We'll let dreams. We'll take in dreams.
Yeah, I had a dream.
I had a dream.
Yeah. This case gives a whole new meaning to it.
This case has had everything in the world. It's just...
Listen, let me do these fast spots. By the way, did I tell the story correctly about the record and you and the lady in Miami Beach that night?
The only thing you had wrong was it wasn't 45 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was about 35 minutes.
Okay.
And as I used to say when I told that story, let's see, I put on the record, I had 35 minutes to get over there, which is all the time I needed. And now it's 30 years later, it's the same thing.
No, I heard it was one of those 30-second message cassettes on the phone machine was all the time you had. Back with Larry King at 1.
You would have gone too, Snyder.
No, I wouldn't.
Oh, no, you wouldn't have gone.
No, I wouldn't have gone. I was Catholic. I was scared.
Oh, Catholic. You'd have said I get off at 6.
Yeah.
I know. You would have said, this woman calls you up and said, please come over. You would have said, I'll meet you in Mass.
You're cruel, King. Ladies and gentlemen, the Iron Horse of Broadcasting, it's 1-800-95-CBS-TV. What's the fax number?
213-852.
There it is on the screen, okay. And on Prodigy, it's Chat Live, or Chat as it happens, and then it's the 11th Street Diner in Miami Beach.
They let you just talk to the crew like this?
Of course.
Wait a minute. Are we on?
This never leaves the building.
Oh.
We're
not on.
We just do this for Tish and Stringer. We'll be right back. Yeah, they love it. We'll be right back.
They think it's on.
Everybody's talking at me. I don't hear words.
We're back with Larry King, and let's go to Mary in Swampscott, Massachusetts. Hello, Mary.
Hi.
Why are you up?
How are you?
I'm
Why
fine.
are you up, Mary?
Why are you up, Mary?
Because I went out to dinner with my girlfriends, and we went to a club after that, and the men were so busy talking to each other
Really?
that we didn't get pinched on the bum once.
So that's why you stayed up, Mary?
That's right, and you're the best that's happened all night.
Oh, that's wonderful. You're an ill lady,
Yeah,
Mary.
but Mary, you've only got 35 minutes.
That's right. And call Tom over the weekend when he's available.
Do you have a
Love Larry
question for Larry? Mary, do you have any questions for Larry besides why you're up?
Who's the best person you've ever interviewed?
It's a good
Well,
question.
it's a tough question because there are so many in each
Well,
category.
I would probably say Sinatra, in that he was hard to get. He was very responsive. He's a great guest. He embodies all the things you want in a good guest. So if I had to pick one jumping out of the hat, but I started real young, Tom.
Does
And
he have any gas left?
Frank,
Yes.
still singing. Guy's going to be 80. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, you know, Frank
Unbelievable.
Jr. was here the other night. He said the toughest part of being Frank Jr. is watching your dad grow old, which, by the way, was true for me. I watched my dad grow old and die. It's awful.
I didn't. My father died when I was young.
Oh, really?
I wished I'd have had that. Did your father live?
He lived
Right.
to 67. I mean, he lived till 1974. So he saw his kid go on NBC. He got that, you know, but he didn't get to see a lot of stuff. You know, he died way too young.
Yeah.
It's tough. Mary, I'm glad you called. Thank you.
Tom?
Yeah.
Prime time.
I beg your pardon?
Prime time.
What about it?
You belong in it.
Well, maybe one night he could sit in on Larry King at the moment.
Okay. Okay. I'll buy that. Love
No.
your show.
Larry King,
Thank you,
as
Mary.
you see it. Mary, thanks for calling. Bye-bye
You're
now.
welcome. Bye-bye.
Steve in Jackson, is it Jackson, Michigan or Jackson, Mississippi?
Jackson, Michigan, Tom.
Hi, Steve. How are you? Why are you up?
I'm up late because I'm 25 and I'm waiting for my wife to come home from work. She owns a Greek restaurant here in town. And
Really?
she ought to be pulling it any minute.
Good.
Wow. What do you do?
What do? I'm getting ready to be a law student.
You wait a
back to
minute.
school.
She owns a restaurant, and you're going to be a law student?
Hey, Steve, in the
That's
next
right.
lifetime, we want to be you.
Yeah, that's right, Steve. When are you going to dump her?
Never.
Well, nah, don't do it, Steve. And you get all the Greek food you want, right?
Oh, I'm waiting, hoping she's bringing some spinach pie home
Do you watch Tom every night?
every night.
Why?
Why? Well, I think
Stuck,
he's got,
huh?
I think he's got the best talk show on TV.
Never call me again. I think he has the second best. No, I love Tom. Tom is one of my... Always like Tom. You know what you're watching tonight?
Larry.
Sheer talent.
Larry.
He's great.
He's over here. He's over here.
comfortable. I mean,
Oh, he's over there?
Yeah.
No sweat in the lip tonight. It's fantastic.
Isn't this unbelievable?
It's great.
Usually it's right here, you know?
Oh, you mean that's the camera?
Yeah, that's the camera.
Oh. What kind of speaker? Because I'm not in it. I don't see myself in it.
Larry's looking over here.
I don't know where I'm looking.
Oh, you're looking at the speaker. Right.
Oh, you
Steve,
see,
we're-
now, I ring my calls in an earpiece.
Oh, no, I don't do that.
Well, I gather. Okay.
No.
So since I bring in an earpiece, I don't have any box somewhere underneath my leg.
You know
with a
why I
voice
don't have the
coming out.
earpiece in?
Why?
Because if you have an earpiece, they can talk to you from the control room as well. And I don't want to listen to them while I'm on the air.
So you have no earpiece at all?
None whatsoever. That's why I talk to this. There's a reason they have stage managers. If I'm in trouble, I say, Mark, what do they want? And he tells me exactly what they want.
You mean I could do this?
Sure. Get
And
a
we
speaker.
just hit speaker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this.
Yeah. And Steve, I'm glad you called, and thank you for the compliment.
Thanks a lot, Tom. Great
Okay.
show.
All right, bye-bye now.
You don't have any hesitancy to look. You don't desire to look down there.
Why would I look down? They're right here. They're right
the
here.
box is there. The voice is coming out of a box. At
I
the bottom of your
respond to
foot.
what I see more than what I hear. I can't believe, how long have you been on CNN?
10 years in June.
You're kidding, with this attitude?
No, what attitude?
He's going, you don't look at a box on CNN. You
No,
don't
I got it in my ear. I hear them, and I look at the thing, and I see myself in the. You have a monitor here where the guest doesn't see itself. A monitor behind me where the guest doesn't know what's happening. You got a box on the floor. You got this great set, which is telling me something. I don't know what it's telling me, but it's telling me something dramatic.
Yeah.
And we're being watched by 3 CBS executives.
That's right. No, only 2.
And their nephews call in.
Yeah. Every caller is Steve Titt. Let's not be too inside. Let me ask you here about not being on the radio at night. I miss it desperately, and I wonder,
The biggest mistake, if I made one mistake in broadcasting, was leaving nighttime radio. I would have left radio anyway, because, I'm 61 now, and
You've done it, Larry.
paid some dues. I've got nothing left to prove, and I love my CNN show, and I like going out and making speeches, and I like writing. So I don't miss radio during the day at all.
No.
Because the daytime today on radio is... I mean, they're out there.
Yeah.
And, these people are not sure that King George III wasn't too good a guy. You know what I mean? Jefferson was a little crazy.
Yeah.
But nighttime radio, as you know when you would sit in and do it, the people were alert, sharp, good callers, college students.
Yeah, like our crowd here. It's great.
Yeah, they're funny.
It's great.
They're hip. You know, we did Why Are You Up one night, and a guy calls up and says, why are you up? He says, I'm a thief.
Really?
And I stay up nights because I rob at night. He says, in fact, I'm in a house right now robbing.
Elliot in Gas City, Indiana. Hello, why are you up?
Hello, Tom.
Hey, Elliot, how are you?
Okay, how are you?
Couldn't be better, Elliot. Why
Elliot, are you up because you're depressed?
Tonight's the night I give myself a physical. Tom?
I mean, Elliot, do you cough all by yourself? How does that go?
Tom, who's your guest?
It's a guy named Larry King, Elliot.
What's he do?
He's
Elliot, you give yourself a physical in Gas City, Indiana?
Did you guys see the Super Bowl?
What, Elliot? I'm going to make a wild guess.
No, don't make a guess. Don't make any guesses now, right now. Elliot, what about the Super Bowl, pal?
You know what I think? I think the real Super Bowl was like 3 weeks ago when the Niners played the Cowboys.
Oh, really?
What an original thought, Elliot. Elliot?
You know if Merv Griffin, is he dead?
Well, what happened? I'll tell you what happened to Merv.
No, Elliot,
No, he's not dead.
he's fine. It's just a lot of people think he's dead.
That's right, I think he's dead.
Yeah.
Actually, he may have passed away,
Yeah.
but they put him on a park bench in St. Petersburg. No one knows.
Can I ask another question?
But can we ask you one question, Elliot? Why are you up? Oh, you give yourself the physical. What is your job, Elliot?
Hang on just a minute. Hey! Stop it! Stop it! Stop that! Stop that!
This is a radio caller. This is a radio guy.
Raccoons,
Elliot,
I think.
Yeah.
what I was going to guess about Elliot, let me make a guess, Elliot. Elliot?
Yeah.
You're alone, aren't you?
Uh-huh.
Go ahead, Tom.
Anyway,
You know
Elliot,
about that, don't you, Larry?
Elliot, I'm glad you called, and have a wonderful evening and enjoy your physical.
I'm not done.
Oh, yes, you are. Bye-bye, Elliot.
Good night.
I know. Well, so far, Why Are You Up is proving...
To be, exactly.
No, you see, first of all, you should have had a whole staff of people here asking them questions off the air so you can show to CBS people, here's who's up. In other words, we got 46 people 25 years old. We have 123 people that are in their 30s.
Excuse me.
It's a survey.
They have 4 floors back there that do that in New York. Four
But
complete.
how do they know who to ask if they don't know?
It doesn't make any difference. They do it.
mean-
Every week the report comes out on demographics as to who's watching and why they're up, and we don't question it. But it's fine.
You mean they don't talk to the people
They don't
who...
have to because they're in demographic research. Don't you understand? This is New York. These people know what they're doing.
So in other words, they know
Of course they do.
just by talking to people, even though they may not be talking to the people who are up.
They just call the AC Nielsen company and they do all this research and they get the printout every morning.
And careers are made or lost on this.
Ours, not theirs. Ours. We'll be right back with Larry King, and we'll be joined by some people at the 11th Street Diner.
Oh, we're going to go to that?
Yeah, we're not going to go there. We're going to bring them in here. As a matter of fact, there it is right up there on the screen now. Yeah, and it's empty. We'll be right back after these messages. We are back with Larry King, the star of Larry King as you see him over on CNN, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on, I guess, every cable system in the world right now, right? You know what amazed me? I mean, CNBC was not CNN, although we were doing a good job.
Yeah, you were.
But they were on something in Europe called the Super Channel. And we would get mail from Europe. It was the most amazing thing.
The most amazing thing is this worldwide impact. I mean, Ted Turner, he's the genius of this part of this. I was at the Wailing Wall in Israel, true story, 2 years ago. And you realize the impact. How do you know your impact until you're there? I'm against the Wailing Wall with my brother, and I'm praying. And there's a rabbi on his feet.
What were you praying for?
Davening. I don't know. I was just praying.
Right.
And I was praying that you get a show. Okay. And this
we're probably the one on CNN, so you can know.
And this rabbi is praying fiercely, and he sees me, he looks up and says, "What's with Perot?"
Yeah.
And I realized that the impact of the program is seen in Israel. So we were in 202 countries. It is a flip.
I was at lunch one day with David Steinberg, and help me through this because I'm Goyish, I don't know. But on Rosh Hashanah, there's the reading of the Torah. Is that correct? Yeah. And it usually is read at a great rate of speed because people want to get to dinner. Correct? Okay. And every now and again are not members of the congregation invited up to assist the rabbi in the reading of the Torah. So one day they're up there and Steinberg is assisting the rabbi in the reading of the Torah, and the guy's going a mile a minute. He stops, he says, "Saw you on Leno." Here is Ernie at the 11th Street Diner in Miami Beach, Florida. Hi, Ernie. It's Tom. You're on the air with Larry King and myself. Why are you up?
I'm up because this is what I do for a living. I walk around and promote parties.
By promoting parties, what do you mean promoting parties?
I promote parties in nightclubs. That's what I do. I walk around and I promote parties. I tell people to come to a particular nightclub that I'm working at that night. The Monday night I do Fat Black Pussycat.
And what do you go up to people and you say, "Come over to Fat Black Pussycat tonight"?
Yeah.
And what will happen when we get there?
People go over to Fat Black Pussycat. I want to say it too, pal.
Yeah. Well, people will go over there and they're gonna get Kentucky Fried Chicken, cornbread, and 40 ounces, and all the funk music you can listen to.
And how do you make money?
I make money. I get 20% of the bar, and I get all the doors cover.
Who's the girl behind you on the right?
The girl behind me on the right.
The right.
The right. Oh, this. That's one of the waitresses at 11th Street Diner.
Oh,
cute, isn't she?
Wait a second. The one in the silver dress is a waitress in the 11th Street Diner?
Yes.
What's the first plane out?
What's Miami?
What is that on your back, on your shoulder there?
This is my backpack.
I see. And are you doing good business tonight?
Yeah, we're going to do good business at Risk. Yeah, always do good business on Friday nights.
Arnie, we're glad you stepped up to the camera. Have a good weekend, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, say hello to my homeboy Larry for me. I'm from D.C. also.
Okay. Hey, you bet. We got a snowstorm there tonight.
Aren't you glad you're here?
Yeah.
All right.
Snowstorm in Washington.
Good night, Ernie. Thanks for being there. Here's
good night,
Marilyn.
Tom.
Okay, good night, sir. I'll tell you the toughest words to say.
There she is again. There she goes again.
Larry King is fixated on a woman in Miami.
No, I'm not fixated. It's my old town. It's the 11th Street Diner that wasn't there when I was there.
I know, but all you're doing is talking about, look, there she is again.
The girl came out. She was rather striking. Well, you commented on the silver girl
but
in the diner.
It's not. Why get this all going on the air? You don't have 35 minutes of time out here. Marilyn in Toledo, Ohio. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hi, Marilyn. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, thanks. Why are you up?
I work until 11:30, and by the time I get home and let the dog out and fire up a simultaneity while you're just there waiting for me.
What do you do?
I'm a market research interviewer. If you want a survey of why people are up, I'll do it for you.
There you go.
That's great, but you have to work at night?
Well, I work until 11:30 in order to call I'm in Ohio, so to call people in California at
What were you surveying tonight?
Notice how Larry just steps in and just takes over.
Men's solid antiperspirant.
Men's solid antiperspirant.
What brand did they use?
What brand did they use?
That's what I was
What won
doing.
tonight?
I'm sorry?
See, now here's how we get your sponsor. What deodorant won tonight?
Men and Speed Stick.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Now you call Tish.
We call Tish. Call
Menon
Menon.
speed stick. You got mentioned on Snyder last night, and you won the poll.
God. Marilyn, thanks for calling.
Oh, it was great, Tom.
Have a nice evening, Marilyn. Stay dry out there, okay?
Prime time. I need you now.
Okay.
Bye.
There you go,
Bye.
Marilyn. Raise your hand and be sure. Bye-bye now. Let's see. This would be Blade Runner from Prodigy. I'm from Buffalo, New York, and the most famous person to come out of here has killed 2 people. I'm up because medical students never sleep. There is an indication that possibly the testimony of the last 2 days has had some impact on folks. This is only one person, of
Hasn't
course.
it? But then the whole city of Buffalo is in a really mass funk over this. Seriously, he is their #1 sports hero of all time.
That's
He's
right.
played there a lot of years. He never complained about Buffalo. You know, a lot of athletes don't want to go.
There. They complain about the
He
snow.
never had. They never had a great winner, and he's idolized there. They don't. I spoke to some people in Buffalo who just will not accept that this has happened to him.
This is not one of them. Larry,
No.
thanks for your time. You know, I love you like a
anytime.
brother, and you're
You
welcome
too.
here anytime.
And I'd love to have you come on my show, Larry King, at the current moment. That's right. Any night you'd like to come over there.
All right. I'll tell you what, we're thinking about going to Washington with this gig sometime in May, Sweeps. So if we do that...
You'll come on.
I'll come on, Sweeps.
So you'll be there in the May Sweeps.
In May Sweeps, right.
And then we'll have you on, because it'll help us, too,
in Sweeps.
to have you on at the same
Larry
time.
King at the moment.
On Larry King currently.
Currently, yeah.
Why can't you say live?
Because we don't have a lot of clearances. We'll be right back. We'll be right back with Jane Seymour, one of the great stars of stage, of screen, and television, after these announcements. Jane Seymour is mainly responsible for making the Old West a part of our television schedule again, with the hit program here on CBS on Saturdays called Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, and I'm very happy she's made time to join us tonight. Thanks for coming in. I'm an enormous fan, and welcome to our program.
Thanks.
You know, this program in the beginning was not, and I'm putting it mildly here, the critic's choice. You know that.
Oh, definitely.
But all of you believed in this project, and now I believe it has the highest Nielsen rating of any program on the air on CBS on Saturday night. You must be enormously satisfied that the people get this thing, you know?
Well, I don't even think the network knew what they had on their hands, because they put us on opposite the Orange Bowl to launch us, which is not exactly a privilege.
What a start,
And then they decided just, you know, to back this up in terms of what they call the death slot, which is Saturday nights at 8 o'clock, which is now, you know, a great slot.
Sure it is.
Saturday nights now is a night of television.
Saturday night used to be the night that nobody watched because everybody was out, so we'll put all the junk on there.
Right, they buried shows, and they specifically buried them on that, you know, on that time slot. So when they told me with great joy, you know, well, we're giving you the death slot, I thought, well, I guess we won't be making too many of these, but we hit the top 10 twice on the first 2
I know
shows.
you did.
So, you know, who cares about the critics?
Hey, but what's great about your show, and by the way, the critics aren't right all the time, and they aren't wrong all the time, as you know. You've gotten tremendous reviews in some areas of your career, and hey, who wins them all? But what's great about your show, and I watch it because I'm usually home on Saturday night. I'm one of those people who's out every night doing this, and so I'm longing for something to watch. Man, we dealt with pregnancy, and we dealt with all kinds of real-life issues. I mean, it's real people doing real topics that involve their lives.
Well, you know what's great about it is that, first of all, it's something you can watch with the whole family.
There you go.
And it's not Little House on the Prairie. It has 90s sensibilities. We stick pretty closely to historical facts of what was happening at that time. So if you're doing a social, studies project at school, this comes in very handy.
Sure,
or if you're just ignorant about American history, as I am, you pick up a lot of information. But we deal with the human condition, and I mean, that is universal. That's worldwide, and it's sold to 72 countries, and they love it everywhere, because it deals with what it's like to be a human being in this planet.
So then you've learned something, too, about America from doing this show.
I mean, right now, we're shooting a wonderful episode about the massacre of Washita, about how the whole Cheyenne Indians, how they were all wiped out. And I knew nothing about this, so, and I'm learning a great deal about this. And of course, it's very similar to what's just been going on in Herzegovina. I can never pronounce it. Bosnia-Herzegovina. I've been up too long. Only problem with this show is you have to get up at 4:30 in the morning.
And then you probably have to fly all the way out there somewhere on the prairie to make it, don't you? No, you make it right here in Southern California.
We make it in Southern California, and we have, CBS have now decided that we are a hit, so we have a few more Christmas trees to kind of dot around the place, because of course there are no fir trees, there are no sort of Christmas trees in Agora. a lot of oaks.
and palm trees, yeah.
Yeah, they cleverly kind of move these pines around to make it look like it's
And so
Colorado.
now you have to stop when the jet planes go overhead. And when we had the monsoon, when we had the rains, and when the snakes come down from the hills,
it's unbelievable. In fact, tonight, just before I came out here, I was about to get out of my makeup trailer and get into the car, and there was a pack of coyotes.
Oh, yeah.
And they caught something very loudly. And then last night...
Yeah, by the way, when they eat, they make a lot of noise.
Make a terrible din.
Let me do a fast break. Back here with Jane Seymour and you at 1-800-95-CBS-TV after these messages.
Well, ignore a fire and it burns out. But if you tend to it, take care of it, feed it, it keeps growing bigger, burns brighter.
By the way, this whole show is wonderful to look at. It's wonderfully photographed. It really is very, very beautiful. Yeah.
Ozzy, who's our DP, keeps winning the Emmy for that. So I don't.
Oh, he does wonderful, wonderful work. I know that you wanted to be a ballerina. You studied ballet, but then you hurt your knee and you had to move on to other things. And you turned to acting. Your parents probably weren't too thrilled about it.
No, they weren't too thrilled. My father, of course, was a doctor, so I grew up in hospitals. I was a nurse on weekends, so it came in very handy for my current occupation.
And your mother was a wine merchant, as I recall, so were you also a bartender and wine taster?
No, my mother was a member of the Guild of Sommeliers. In other words, she was a wine expert. She used to sell wines and things. So I grew up knowing about great wines and things like that. But my mother's Dutch. She survived a concentration camp.
I know.
And so obviously, she's been an incredible inspiration for me for when I did parts like Natalie Jasper in War and Remembrance and things like that.
I ran a little bit long with Larry, and I apologize to you for that, but I wanted to spend some time because I watch that picture once a year. I talked with the fellow who did the picture, Dan Curtis. It's a producer and executive producer and director. How did he get you all right to the edge? I mean, you were all into that picture.
Well, first of all, he didn't realize that my mother had been in a camp. A Japanese camp.
Right, but it's a camp to be sure.
So, I had an enormous emotional response to the material. Plus, we were filming in Auschwitz, in Birkenau, in fact, and Branko Lustig, who was the first assistant director, has now just produced Schindler's List.
Right.
He was the one, he'd been in Auschwitz himself, and he knew everything, and Dan Curtis basically said, Branko, you show me what it was like, you make it happen. And so when I was acting, anyone sitting next to me or in a scene invariably had the tattoo and had survived that experience. And I speak a few, little bits of little languaes, and with a bit of French and a little bit of German, I was able to find out the experiences these other people had been through. And I mean, these people, they empowered me. The real survivors that I was surrounded with, I mean, they gave me my performance.
I have this fascination with that whole period in War and Remembrance and Winds of War. You think of that time in the world and the players that were on the stage that we probably we won't see in our lifetime, but maybe never again. Churchill, Eisenhower, Hitler, Tojo, Roosevelt, Truman, Eisenhower, MacArthur. I mean, think of the players on the stage through World War II. Incredible time. A horrible time, to be sure. But
all I can think about is mass genocide. All I can think about is the horrors and the atrocities and the fact that many innocent people died and that the whole world had to go to war to fight for it. And,
exactly.
And the tragedy is it's happening again, isn't it? It's
yes,
happening
it is.
all over the world. It's happening, genocide everywhere. And Dr. Quinn, we're describing genocide, and it's unfortunately very au courant. It's going on everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, to go back to leaving the ballet and going into acting, you eventually wind up in Live and Let Die, the James Bond picture in which you play Solitaire. And you become an enormous sensation, and people want you to do more James Bond, but you say, no, I don't want to be typecast.
Well, I wasn't exactly, you never get asked to do another James Bond. But I didn't want to do that kind of film. And I went and I worked in the theater, and I did, a lot of Shakespeare and Goldoni and, Ibsen and stuff like that. And I learned how to be an actress, or I tried to anyway.
No, you did learn.
Oh, good.
No, you learned very, very well, as a matter of fact.
But I love the theater, and I got very lucky very early on in film. And I just decided that I really needed to learn how to act, and the best place to learn how to act is in the theater.
As I say, I owe you one, and I hope when we invite you, when you're not quite so busy, we can spend a little bit more time, because I love talking with you. And by the way, may I thank you publicly for your kindness to my daughter when you and she worked together some time ago. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
All right, and please come and see us again.
Okay.
Thank you. Jane Seymour, folks, Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, on the air on CBS at 8 p.m. Eastern on Saturday nights. Back to wrap it up for Friday and this week after these messages. I hope you'll stay up with me later now on the Late Late Radio Show with Elliot Forrest out of New York at 1-800-890-9990. Back Monday night with Sir Anthony Hopkins, same time, same station. Drive safely on the way home. Thank you all for watching. Enjoy the weekend and sleep tight, America. Good night, everybody.
This is CBS.